The Infinity Stones never disappeared. They weren't erased from reality or turned to dust. They simply ceased to be objects. Their form changed, and now they exist within the heroes we've long known and loved. And this isn't fan fiction, it's logically proven. Hello everyone, this is Lord of Leaks. Like now, what follows is something the official MCU prefers not to explain directly. After Endgame, viewers were sold a simple version. Thanos destroyed the stones, drew a line under the sand, and closed an era. The story is over. But that's too convenient and too simplistic for Marvel. The problem is that Thanos couldn't physically destroy the stones as a phenomenon. He only destroyed their outer form, the shell in which they existed, essentially their container. Back in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Collector stated outright, the Infinity Stones aren't artifacts, but remnants of 6 fundamental singularities that existed before the universe itself. They're not objects, they're the very laws of existence. Such powers can't simply be removed. If the stone's energy truly disappeared, reality would crumble, but that didn't happen. The universe continued to exist. This means the stone's power simply changed form. When Thanos destroyed their shells, the energy was left without a host, and it was forced to find new ones. And here's where things get interesting. Immediately after the events of Endgame, 6 characters appear in the MCU, each of whom suddenly begins to exhibit abilities that suspiciously closely match the functions of one of the stones. Too neat, too synchronized, too perfect to be a coincidence. The logical conclusion is obvious. Each Infinity Stone has been reborn as a specific MCU hero. Next, I'll examine each of the 6 individually, show who the new hosts are, provide direct examples from films and TV series, and explain why the stones remain a key element of the multiverse saga, just in a different form. Let's start with the Time Stone, the most obvious and also the most unexpected. At first glance, it's simple. Doctor Strange. He used the stone for years, studied it, protected it, knew more about it than anyone. It would seem he's the perfect candidate. But that's precisely why he's unsuitable. The Time Stone didn't need a user, it needed a source, a being that doesn't manipulate time but exists alongside it. And you've already guessed who that is: Loki. Before Endgame, Loki had no time-related abilities whatsoever. He was a master of illusion, lies, and deception, a god of tricks but not of chronology. No leaps, no paradoxes. Everything changes the moment the TVA takes him. From that moment on, Loki literally breaks the mechanics of time itself. He begins to slip uncontrollably through the timeline, existing outside of linearity, becoming a glitch in the system, someone who shouldn't exist but does anyway. And here's where the key moment. The Infinity Time Stone has always been green, and this is no accident. In the Season 2 finale of Loki, he ceases to be simply the god of trickery. He becomes the one who holds all the timelines of the multiverse together, preventing them from falling apart. He literally holds time on his shoulders, and he does this through glowing green energy, the very same energy with which the Time Stone has always been associated. Loki doesn't use the stone. Loki has become the stone. And here's the point that almost everyone misses. Before Loki took control, the timelines weren't green at all. They glowed different colors. This is explicitly shown in the series. Green only appears after he ascends to the throne and takes over the system. Now let's apply logic. According to canon, the Infinity Stones were created during the Big Bang, but Loki, in the Season 2 finale, exists outside of time and space. He lies beneath the entire multiverse, physically holding its branches together. Before his intervention, time as a stable system simply didn't exist. There was chaos, disparate flows, fragments of probability. Loki didn't bend time, he recreated it. This means he exists before the Big Bang, before the stones, before the Celestials, before everything we consider a beginning. The conclusion is unpleasant but inescapable. Loki, the god of stories, is prior to all reality. It's his existence that makes the Big Bang possible, and then, as a side effect, the Infinity Stones are born. Then come the other Lokis, the heroes, the worlds, the civilizations. All of this is the content of the multiverse, which he literally holds within himself. Therefore, to say that the Time Stone was reborn into Loki isn't entirely accurate. Loki is the original source of that very power. The stone was merely a later projection of it. There's simply no point in arguing about that. Now Wanda. To be honest, she's the ideal and only possible bearer of the Reality Stone. Yes, someone still tries to draw the Mind Stone to her, claiming it gave her abilities, but that theory falls apart immediately. First of all, the Mind Stone didn't create Wanda's powers. It merely activated what was already within. If it were the source, Pietro would have received something similar. He underwent the same experiments, but no. His powers went in a completely different direction. So Wanda's power existed long before the stone's intervention. The stone was the catalyst, not the cause. Secondly, and this is crucial, Wanda's energy has always been red. From her very first appearance, both visually and in essence, it matches the energy of the Reality Stone, not the mind. Reality. Yes, at the start, her abilities seem to influence consciousness, but what happens after Endgame? Wanda stops playing with illusions and begins to break the very fabric of existence, without rituals, without formulas, without effort. She rewrites matter directly. In Westview, she doesn't cast spells, she edits existence. Vision, Billy, and Tommy don't appear through a magical contract or an ancient enchantment. They arise out of nothing, at the whim of a single thought. This is no longer magic. This is the level of the Reality Stone. And here's the argument that finally settles the matter. Darcy Lewis says it bluntly. Wanda doesn't use spells. She emits cosmic microwave background radiation, the very energy left over from the birth of the universe, an echo of the Big Bang. And now the key connection. The Infinity Stones were formed from the same primordial energy, one source, one frequency, one cosmic singularity. This means Wanda carries the same energy as the stones, not an analog, not a copy, the same fundamental level of power. So no, this isn't chaos magic. It's the Reality Stone in disguise, a singularity trapped within a man. When people talk about the Mind Stone, the first thing that comes to mind is White Vision. It makes sense, a regenerated being who once literally carried the stone in his head. A convenient answer, but it's wrong. The true vessel of the Mind Stone is Robert Reynolds, aka the Sentry, and here is why. Reynolds gains his powers after the events of Endgame, at the precise moment when the stone's energy should have been seeking new forms. The timing is perfect, too precise to be accidental. Now let's look at his abilities. For the Sentry, everything, literally everything, is tied to the mind. Perception, control of reality through thought, split personality, absolute mental domination, and self-destruction through the psyche. His power isn't his body. His power is his mind as a weapon.
He can forcibly drag people into their own memories, making them relive their deepest traumas again and again. He twists the perception of reality as easily as if he were switching TV channels. And there is a visual marker Marvel almost never uses by accident. Every single time Reynolds activates his power, no matter whether he calls himself Bob, Sentry, or the Void, his eyes flare up with a bright yellow glow, the exact same yellow associated with the Mind Stone. But that's only part of the picture. His entire storyline revolves around mental health, split personality, buried fears, an inner monster living inside his head. And that is precisely what the Mind Stone has always been about: thoughts, consciousness, identity. There is also one final detail that is hard to ignore. The promotional materials for Thunderbolts are literally drenched in yellow tones. Posters, lighting, visual accents, everything screams the same message. When you put all of this together, it becomes clear that these are not random artistic choices. This is the Mind Stone finding a new host. And when it comes to the Soul Stone, there is no real debate at all. The answer is Adam Warlock. Once you notice the clues, you can't unsee them. In the comics, Adam isn't just connected to the Soul Stone, he is its true bearer. The stone chooses him, manifests on his forehead, bonds to him, and refuses to work with anyone else. No other Marvel character is tied to the Soul Stone so deeply. And once you remember that, Marvel's decisions in the films suddenly make a lot more sense. The Soul Stone is the only one that demands emotion, real sacrifice, genuine connection, and moral growth. And who follows exactly that path in the movies? Adam Warlock. In Guardians, he learns what the Soul Stone has always represented: empathy, loss, compassion, and freedom from one's own limitations. If the Soul Stone is the heart of the Infinity Stones, then Adam's story is the story of a being discovering a heart he was never supposed to have. And there is one more striking sign. His abilities, energy blasts, flight bursts, healing, the rebirth cocoon, all glow with a golden orange energy identical to the Soul Stone itself. Color is never accidental. Put everything together, and the conclusion is unavoidable. Adam Warlock doesn't just resemble the Soul Stone, he embodies everything it stands for.
The Space Stone turned out to be the trickiest of them all. At first glance, America Chavez seems like the perfect match. She doesn't just jump between universes, she literally tears open stable portals between realities, something no one else can do. Her portals even look like miniature tesseracts, blue cosmic vortices, sharp geometric shapes, instant transitions, and an energy signature almost identical to the wormhole power of the tesseract from the Avengers. But there's a catch. America isn't from Earth 616, and she was born with her abilities. That immediately disqualifies her as a reborn host of the Space Stone. Which leaves one obvious candidate, Monica Rambeau. And here, everything lines up perfectly. Unlike the others, Monica gains her powers only after Endgame. In the 7th episode of WandaVision, she passes through the Hex barrier 3 times, and on the 3rd attempt, the energy rewrites her cells on a molecular level. What matters is that the Hex isn't just magic, it's cosmic radiation, the same kind of primordial energy that created the Infinity Stones in the first place. After that, Monica can move at light speed, phase through solid matter, and fly without physical contact, existing in a pure energy state. Sound familiar? Those are exactly the core traits of the Space Stone, instantaneous movement and the bending of distance itself. And then there's the visual cue. In the finale, when Monica seals the rift between universes, her body glows with a bluish-white light, the exact color palette of the Space Stone. Timing, abilities, and visuals all align too cleanly to ignore. The conclusion is simple. Monica Rambeau is the new vessel of the Space Stone. As for the Power Stone, it represents raw, destructive force. The Purple Stone amplifies physical strength, supercharges other stones, and allows its bearer to unleash energy capable of wiping entire worlds off the map. In the MCU, there is only one character who fits this profile perfectly: Wonder Man. Yes, he hasn't fully debuted yet, but the trailer is out, the marketing has started, and Marvel is clearly positioning him as a major player. He matches the Power Stone for 2 key reasons. First, his abilities: superhuman strength, flight, extreme durability, and powerful energy projection, all a direct embodiment of what the stone represents. Second, the visual language. In comics and animation, Wonder Man is literally composed of purple energy. The color and aesthetic align almost one-to-one with the Power Stone. Some might argue that Agatha could be linked to the Power Stone because her magic is also purple, but that's where the similarities end. The functions of the Power Stone and Agatha's abilities simply don't match, and it's no coincidence that the Wonder Man series is being released before the events of Doomsday. Marvel could have introduced him later, after Secret Wars, but they didn't, which suggests that by the time Doomsday arrives, all 6 Infinity Stones will already have chosen a new host, and all of them will be on the side of the heroes. That leaves only one question. Is it really a coincidence that right after Thanos destroyed the stones, 6 characters from Earth 616 suddenly awaken powers that perfectly mirror those stones? To me, it's not coincidence, it's inevitability, especially since the stones have always shown a will of their own. The Space Stone deliberately sent Red Skull to Vormir. Energy chooses where it goes, and once you understand where it went, the MCU starts to look completely different. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. That's it for me. A new video drops tomorrow.